Well, we're switching gears now to politics. We all know that 2022 is the year preceding the year of the general elections. And as we already know, aspirants, they're not yet candidates. Perhaps the only candidates we have now are those who are vying for positions tomorrow in the federal council elections here in the FCT. Yes, we're going to be having our own version of local government elections conducted by no other than INEC. And that's where we have candidates. The rest of the people whom we've been seeing so far are aspirants, either for party positions or even to be flag bearers of their party in the forthcoming general elections in 2023. But something which we've been trying to start as a tradition, which is that of debates. We're wondering, how is it catching on, and does it really have an impact in terms of who voters eventually go for? We have with us this morning Mr. Belema, who is Executive Director, Engage, Empower, Educate Initiative. And he's going to be speaking to us on that. You're welcome to Sunrise Elite this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Well, I'm wondering, you put together a debate for the FCT Council polls, and you had specifically women participate in the debate. What was the reason for that?
Okay, the debate was actually for all the candidates contesting under AMAC, but the change in our kind of debate is that we're actually doing only on gender-based issues. Okay. So the aspirants that came were questioned around gender-based issues. We have 21 issues we spoke to them about and asked them what will they do when they get into office around these 21 issues, and it was really nice.
Okay, so what did it open your eyes to?
It opened my eyes to a lot, and what we did during the debate was also to ensure it was streamed live over radio. So we had people ask questions, and we noticed that at the debate, a lot of people got informed ideas on what these aspirants will do when they get into office. Some aspirants made some very lavish commitments, what they would do for the girl child, and some even made some very interesting commitments. One even said they will get cooler for women when they get into office, and people ask, cooler for what? You get me? And that's serious. No, if an aspirant will be making such commitments, then you begin to know what they think about women and what they think about the girl child when they get into office. So it really opened our eyes to a lot, and the debate was very interesting, very, very engaging. The audience and the live audience asked a lot of questions. There are a lot of issues that surround the woman and the girl child that are really not looked into because nobody is asking these questions, and the aspirants are not even campaigning around these issues. And what we also found out was, because we told them the 21 issues we wanted to discuss about, they went to prepare around it. So even if they didn't have an idea prior to this time, they now understand that these issues are there, and what do we do about when we get into office. And we're taking records because there's going to be an accountability process. Whoever wins the elections will come back with his promises or her promises and say, see, this is what you said, what are you going to do now about it now that you are in office? What
was the motivation for that? I mean, the debate is something that is yet to really catch on. We see it a few times for state government elections, so governorship debates, and perhaps a presidential debate, but it doesn't happen every time. Even at the presidential level, you see a situation whereby even the lead candidates, in quote, do not show up for the debate. It would seem that it's a culture that is really yet to catch on. So what motivated you to do it at that level?
Okay, two things. First of all, we have a project called the Pink Movement, the Pink Vote Movement. We want to get at least 10 million more women to vote in upcoming elections. And under it is the Pink Debate, where we want to mainstream gender-based issues in the political process. Because we found out that women make a large percentage of the electorate, actually 47% according to INEC figures. And they are used before elections and dumped after elections. And we said, no, this should stop. We need accountability in the process. So the first reason was we wanted to have people accountable to their words. So we need to bring them on a round table to make commitments that would use to hold them accountable. And second, we noticed that there's so much apathy in the system. And I'll give you a simple example, because we are using AMAC council elections as our pilot case. AMAC has over 600,000 registered voters. Guess what? In 2019, I think so, those that came out to vote were less than 100,000. So there's so much apathy, and we're saying, okay, maybe people don't really know who these candidates are. People don't know. I'm sure many people will find out for the first time today that elections are holding tomorrow in Abuja. You see, there's just no information out there. People don't know. And when information is out there, they don't even know who the candidates are. So we said, no, this has to change.
That's a problem with almost every local government election.
Yeah.
And it's a little baffling, because the reason why that exists at the local government elections in many states, the general apathy, some people put it down to the fact that, in many local government elections in the states, it is usually the party in power at the governorship level that would take up all the seats. There is hardly any competition per se. And people have said, perhaps the only credible elections that happen is the one that INEC itself conducts. And that happens right here in the FCT. That is the case of the FCT. So do you think that we should be investigating what could be responsible for the case of apathy in the FCT?
I see, and that's why AMAC is our pilot case, because we are monitoring the process till after the elections and want to monitor the outcome. Because we're saying, okay, if you have 600,000 voters, INEC is the one conducting these elections. Only 97,000 or so came out to vote the last time. Can we create awareness around these coming elections? Can we let people know who the candidates are? Because INEC has this published, but many people don't know. People don't know that they have 14 candidates in AMAC elections. Are you getting it? So INEC has published this thing. So we are taking this information to the people at the grassroots, the marketplaces. These are the candidates. Okay, you don't know your polling units. These are the polling units. Can you come out and vote? Can we get 300,000 people to vote in an election? Can we get 400,000 people to vote in this election? Because you have registered voters that are up to 600,000. So if they come out and vote, you will see that what the politicians depend on, that people won't come out to vote and get some people in the rural areas to do their bidding, won't even hold sway again. Because when more people come out to vote, you have more options and you have a better election and a more credible election.
Well, I'm going to be one of those who will sign up as guilty as charged in terms of, whether or not you show up to vote on election day. But looking at what happens, looking at the FCT and how it is arranged, you have rightly spoken to the fact that a lot happens in the rural communities, and if impact to be felt anywhere, directly anywhere, it is the rural communities that would really need that impact the more. People will hardly believe that a place as unifying and as developed and as sophisticated as the Federal Capital Territory will have rural communities that still do not have potable water, and do not have electricity. These are things that that's the situation right here in the Federal Capital Territory. But in many other places, the sophistication is evident. You go to Maitama, you go to even the estates, the many estates of Local Goma, and what have you. How do you hope to reach those kinds of communities that are already elitist in terms of how they are arranged? They really do not need, if you look at in terms of man's hierarchy of needs, it would seem that a lot of it has already been fulfilled for them, and they may not exactly see the need to engage politically to get things done. How do you get those kind of groups engaged and involved?
That's a very serious question, because we notice that these people really don't come out. Like you said, they're already well-to-do. They live in highbrow areas. But we are pushing the campaign. We are going out on streets. We are meeting them where they are in their offices. We are going to marketplaces, and we're also using social media to meet them where they are. And we're telling them, yes, governance is about you.
Did the debate happen in the marketplace?
No, we didn't happen in the marketplace because we had to hold it in a structured and a very secured environment, because the candidates asked for security, because we're bringing political aspirants together. But what we did was we broadcasted it on a station that has a very wide reach, right? A radio station has a very wide reach. So it reached over 1 million people, and they were also able to call in to ask questions.
You were certain of that?
Yeah, because that's the reach of the radio station. That's the reach of the radio station. I don't want to mention names, but it has a massive reach. And we had also live audiences. And guess what? Before the debate, we actually went to the marketplaces around our pilot scheme, AMAC, and we told them to listen in on the program. So they were waiting for the program to come on air. So they were ready. We went all the market. We have volunteers that went round AMAC and its environs to get people to listen into the debate. So they listened in, and it was evidenced by the questions that came in for the aspirants during the debate. But we are not stopping.
Was it done in the language of the people? Because some people will say English might be too, might be speaking above the heads, not to take anything away from the education of those who are in the marketplace. But sometimes we know that on the streets, this is not the language. It's not. We don't speak Queen's English on the streets. We speak Pidgin English.
If I shock you now, it was a station that speaks vernacular.
Oh, okay.
That we used, because we know that people in the rural areas don't really speak our big English. So we had to use a station that reaches them in the language they understand. So that was the station we used, the radio station we used to broadcast the live broadcast. So it reached them in the language they really do understand.
What lessons do you think we can learn in terms of replicating this across board and bringing to bear trying to entrench the culture of debate, however local the level is, that it is important for ideas to contend, and that people begin to understand that the people who are aspiring or who are candidates in an elections are there to serve you, and we must begin to learn to hold them accountable. What lessons do you think we can learn from this?
The most important thing is accountability. You understand? Now we can hold these aspirants accountable to what they have said they will do. That's the key point. Prior to this time, there was nothing holding anybody accountable. So what we're doing, once the pilot case is over, we'll be launching our reports, and then we'll escalate to state level, national level, and obviously the presidential level. So we'll have pink debates, the presidential debate, we'll have the governorship debate, and those that want to aspire to the national assembly, there'll be a debate for them. Then, very importantly, whoever wins, there'll be a tracking process. So we have our partners in Connected Development, thanks to Amzi and the fantastic what they are doing with Follow the Money, that understand how to track. So we are partnering with them to track this campaign promises. Whoever wins, so we are going to be tracking. So there's going to be a tracker. Right? So it's not just I'm coming to office, I've won. Okay, you said you would do this. Have you done it?
It's interesting. Your agenda is specifically for women. It's about the gender.
Gender.
Or maybe not just with women, because even though it's pink, but gender is about both genders. Oftentimes it tilts more to the more vulnerable gender. But let me flip this to Lagos. I understand that my colleague have questions for you.
Well, yeah, Belema, I mean, this is the pilot case, as you mentioned, and you spoke about the apathy that you witnessed, the way the whole thing came through. But in consideration of the fact that you did it for women, can you speak, or should we assume that apathy will be the same thing if you had done it for both candidates in terms of the men and the women who were contesting?
Okay, let me just correct that impression. The pink debate was for all candidates contesting the election, not just specifically female candidates, because for the AMAC election, there's only one woman contested. So our pink debate is for everyone contesting the election. We want to know what you would do for women when you get into office, right? So at every level, it will be for all candidates. We are not restricting it to just the female candidates, all candidates. What will you do for women when you get into office? So we are mainstreaming gender-based issues during the political process. So basically it was for all candidates and not just for female aspirants.
Oh, so the apathy you witnessed was on gender-based issues and how they needed to address and mainstream gender-based issues. Was that right?
Yes, you're right. And also coming out to vote during elections generally.
The question that will come to me naturally on that last bit that you mentioned, Mr. Meshach Hart, is concerning voter apathy, which you spoke a little more about the other time. How, in your opinion, does this change that narrative?
Okay, because you see, I think sincerely that voter apathy is because, one, many people don't know who they are voting for. They don't know what the person would do for them. So we believe that if we are able to give more information on the candidates, if we're able to give more information on what they would do for you when they get into office, and you'll be able to make informed decision and come out to vote. And secondly, we also are appealing to people. So we notice people just don't want to come out and vote for whatever reason. So we are appealing to people to come out en masse, and you will know who is coming out for that position. It gives you better idea on what they want to do, policies they want to implement, and you make better decisions coming out when people are coming to vote. Yeah.
From your interaction with the people, was this apathy occasioned by the fact that it was perhaps just AMAC elections? So if it were maybe bigger elections, either state or at the national level, from what you garnered, would they have been any different?
Yeah, because if we see from statistics of registered voters and those that came out to vote, most times it's quite poor and it's not even up to 80–70% of the registered voters. So we believe this is across board. But we are saying that at this point in time, can we change that narrative? Can we get people more informed? Can we let them know? Because I believe sincerely that if people know, if they have an idea, and that's why debates are quite critical, because it helps them make informed choices. If people know who they are voting for, they will come out to vote. And if you appeal to them, right, if the candidates also appeal to them in the right way, they will also come out and vote. So we are saying, come out, vote, but not just vote. Know who you are voting for, what they want to do for women, what they want to do for girl child, what they want to do for you, and what they want to do for the society.
So, seeing how critical debate is, as you have said, to knowing the candidates, taking them to task on major issues, in this case for you, issues around women, and eventually boosting voter participation and turnout. But it's critical, right? But it's not illegal to not be a part of a debate, as it were. There's nothing in law that says there must be a debate. So are you looking to have this, institutionalized, have a law backing this, such that every candidate that is, pushed out there or to carry the flag of a party knows that one of the prerequisites is a debate?
I think even in countries that have that law, you see, it's still not compulsory to participate in debates. So we have to get to a point where as citizens we make a demand on those seeking political office that they should come out for debates. When they know that the citizens are making a demand, that citizens demand, they will come out and participate. Because even in the debate we did for AMAC elections, not all aspirants turned up for the debate. And you can't charge them for that because they have their own rights of association. So it's just when they know, if a candidate knows that if I don't show up for these debates, I'll get a backlash. Trust me, no law would force them to come. They would come on their own and they'll be willing. And that's why going up in the coming elections, Nigerians should make it part of what they would demand of those coming out for political office, that they should participate in debates and let them know that if they don't come for those debates, it will also determine the direction they would go. We have a lot of intelligent people that are willing to come out for debate, but sometimes, because you can't force them to come out, some won't show up. But it has to change. It has to change because we need them to come and tell us what they will do when they get into office, because that's the only way we can have accountability. Trust me, how many people even know what the plans are when the candidate comes out for office? Many people don't know. You don't know their agenda. You don't know what they have planned for you. So only through a debate can people really listen in and know, okay, if this guy has this and this and this in place for me, I think I like him, so I'll come out and vote for him. So it's a very critical process, but the citizens must demand. That's the issue here. The citizens must make that demand and press it on the aspirants to come out for a debate and let them know the consequences of not showing up for that debate. Very critical.
So one more thing from here. How much work do you think we have to do to ensure that we entrench that culture of debate, right from the grassroots up until the presidential level?
All right, I'll be using from my experience even at AMAC level. It's a lot of work, trust me. It's a lot of work. Reaching out to the candidates is a lot of work. Getting them to even commit to come for the debate is a lot of work. Organizing the debate itself is a lot of work. Reaching out to those that need to listen into the debate is also a lot of work. So I think first things first, we need to partner with media houses like what we're doing here to get the word out. It's very important. There has to be a lot of advocacy around this because if we don't reach to these people, they won't know. But it's a serious work has to be done. Serious work has to be done. But we've started the process with the Pink Debate Series, and we're going out, we're going to the states, we're going to the local government, we're going national, and we're taking the word out there to them in their millions and letting them know that a debate is a must. Come and debate on gender-based issues. Come and debate on gender-based issues. Let us know what you would do for women and the girl child when you get into office. We will be in their faces. We have volunteers all across Nigeria in all the local government areas. We'll be in their faces. We'll be in the faces of those electorates. We are going to the marketplaces, letting them know that when these people come to you to ask for your votes, tell them you want to hear them speak and engage in a debate. It's a critical need at this time.
Yeah, debates are good. What about town halls? Are you looking to do that as well?
Well, we're focusing on debates for now. Well, we have a lot of organizations that even do town halls. But at the local level, what we plan to do, because we are going to state governors and national and presidential, so we are talking to the state coordinators of the Pink Debate to organize town halls at the local level, because we are looking at the local level, it's actually more effective to do town halls at the local level. But at the state level and the national level, we'll go in for debates.
Okay. Well, we wish may the best man win tomorrow.
Yeah.
We'll look forward to seeing who eventually emerges. We have to thank you so much for coming on Sunrise Elite this morning, and well done for the work you're doing. Belema Menshak is Executive Director, Engage, Empower, Educate Initiative. Thank you once more.
Thank you for having me.